What techniques were used at the famous medicineless hospital, the Huaxia Center of Dr. Pang? Commonly known as Hunyuanqi therapy and based on Qineng Qigong science, they were key to many of the miraculous healings witnessed in those days. Together with Master Huantong Liu, Britta Stalling has been passing on these techniques to students and teachers in the West for more than 10 years now. Let's hear what she has to say. My name is Thorsten Lüdecke, and this is the Wisdom Qigong Podcast. Welcome everyone. Today we've got Britta Stalling in our episode. It's the third time she's actually on the podcast. One was a roundtable discussion about why people heal, while some people heal and others don't. And today we've got a very exciting topic. It is actually about the techniques that were used in the first medicineless hospital, the famous Huaxia Center founded by Dr. Pang. And Britta, if I understand that correctly, these techniques are usually called Hunyuanqi therapy. Is that so?
Yes. So thank you for inviting me to this podcast and supporting the listeners to dive deeper into all these exciting information. And the Hunyuanqi therapy, we can say, is like a branch or like part of the Qineng Qigong science system, focusing on learning and using the consciousness and Qi medicine to apply for yourself, but also if you want to support others, to give Qi treatments for others. This is something we have called Hunyuanqi therapy so that people understand it is something you can learn. You can learn the skills, abilities, you can learn the techniques, the methods to really be in a good position to apply Qi consciousness medicine for yourself or share it with others.
So if I think of the medicineless hospital and the work that Dr. Pang does there and the pictures I have in mind, it's people practicing La Qi, people practicing the lift Qi up, people practicing the walls quads. So where does Hunyuanqi therapy fit into that? Is it something that has been added to it, or how should I imagine this?
Mm-hmm. So the Qineng Qigong science system has a couple of levels of practices. And you mentioned already some practice methods from Qineng Qigong level 1, but there's also level 2, level 3, even up to 6 levels people could study. Whereas in the West at the moment, it's only Qineng Qigong level 1, 2, and 3, which is available. And the different levels exist then of methods, practices. You can, learn, study, practice for yourself. And they have certain purposes, like level 1 has the purpose to exchange the Qi of your own body with the Qi of nature. Level 2 focuses more on going deep inside and enhancing the quality of Qi and the Qi flow by certain practices, really go deep inside your own body. Level 3 now focuses, it's a bit very simple explanation, but level 3 now focuses on the emotions related to the inner hormone system, so the inner organs, to really make the organs very strong. So that's a little bit a simple description. So your question, how does Hunyuanqi therapy fit in? So in Hunyuanqi therapy, we also practice and learn some methods because we want to learn them to nourish our own health and well-being. And we are training now ourselves to become a health and well-being coach, also to give Qi treatments to others. In the Huaxia Qineng Qigong Center, the medicineless hospital, when you would come as a, let's say, patient, you had a certain diagnosis, then you would be grouped into, let's say, a group of 30 or 40 people. You would have a teacher who would now teach the methods, level 1, level 2, level 3, I'm not certain, but level 1, level 2 for sure. And so that you have tools to practice by yourself, even in that center, in a group environment, of course, to enhance your health and well-being. At the same time, the teachers and healers were trained to give Qi treatments. Either they were trained to influence the information field, the Qi field, to have a strong healing Qi field. I mean, normally each teacher, each healer would at least, learn that and apply it, but also give individual treatments to people suffering from diverse diagnoses or illnesses. So there's a certain 7-step, let's say, protocol how you can give a Qi treatment. And this is something the teachers and healers would do. In addition to, going through the methods and train with the people, they would also have conversations where they support the people to change their mindset. So, for example, change their mindset from being a patient. First step is change your mindset to become a student of Qin and Qigong, so that you shift from the situation that others would take care of you to, if you're a student, you start to own your power again and know you can learn something which then can help you, but you are the one who is controlling your health and well-being, and you are the one who are learning the methods or receiving the treatment with a conscious state of, yes, I am, starting a recovery journey. Also in Hunan Qi therapy, we talk about the power of intentions, the power to have actually a holistic health intention, because this is the first step in healing, that you're really clear about, yes, you are able to heal yourself. What does it mean? Then you need to find answers, of course, in that journey, but without a powerful intention, it is more challenging actually to regain your health and well-being. So in Hunan Qi therapy, we have created a systematic approach to help people in the West understand how they worked in the Medicineless Hospital and what to take into consideration if you want to create your own healing journey or if you want to support others. It's quite a comprehensive, idea. And Master Yuntong Liu, who is the founder of the Hunan Qi therapy program, together with me, he has taken the education Dr. Pang Ming has offered to people in the Medicineless Hospital who wanted to become a teacher, wanted to become a healer. He took the whole content and structured it in a way so that people in the West like me can more easily access it and more easily trust it and have confidence that we can apply it for ourselves and for others.
And so you mentioned Master Yuntong Liu already. He and you founded the Hunan Qi therapy program. I think it's now 11 or 12 years ago or something like that. And you've trained a lot of, I think it's 250 certified therapists all over the world. And this program is mainly for people that have an interest, a professional interest, or as a healer or as an alternative, a medical practitioner, to use these techniques to support others, right? But you also have some people, that are using this primarily to heal themselves, and then obviously, if it's working so well, use it for their friends, their family on a more casual basis. So you don't have to be a health practitioner in order to participate in the program. But the program itself is obviously quite comprehensive, and it usually goes for around between 12 and 24 months, depending on the different modules your students choose. But you've also taken the essence of these teachings for everybody to understand and for everybody to apply on a slightly simplified version, obviously, with your Life Changer course, Hunan Qi Therapy Fundamentals, which is in its 5th year now, and starting very soon. So we put a link in the show notes. So this is more for people that say, wow, this is a great concept, I want to learn more about it, but not necessarily for the people that will actually use it in their practice as an alternative healer, right?
Yes, that's right. I mean, this program is a 3 weeks program for 24 hours, and we really thought about how can we present the fundamentals of Hunan Qi therapy. So, like you say, to make it accessible for people coming with various needs or requests, or let's say life priorities. So we will actually share the fundamentals of what is actually Qi, what is Hunan Qi, what is Qi medicine, what is consciousness medicine, to get an understanding and maybe also to mystify it. Master Liu is a very empowering Qi Qigong master, where he each time in these programs really delivers practical skills and abilities you can learn on the spot, and also learn practices to understand, for example, the willpower of consciousness, or how to nourish your own life force, to enhance it, stop depleting it. We say there are two kinds of illnesses. So what does that actually mean? And how can you then, if there are only two kinds of illnesses, how can you then actually use certain practices to heal them and recover from them? But also we talk a lot about the right mindset. It often starts really with the mindset. We've witnessed people who know all the tools, but because they don't have an upright, positive mindset, really trusting and believing themselves, they practice, and don't really see the results yet. So we talk really openly about all these ideas and share concrete practices which people can put into practice immediately. And I would say that maybe some professional practitioners, after they've practiced for a while, also can share based on this online program. Of course, the 2 years program, the Hunan Chi therapy program in itself, is set up in a way that you also receive mentoring and coaching. You can ask your questions. You work with clients. We actually now help each other. I clearly remember 2014 when I started preparing the Hunan Chi therapy program together with Master Liu. I was blessed enough to support this whole initiative. I already met him in 2011. So I learned the skills and abilities in 2011. I applied them successfully, but I didn't have colleagues to ask, oh, I now received this client and he has this kind of issue. Which kind of tool or practice should I maybe share? And, if I've done now a healing session and it's completely recovered. Oh, I'm so happy. Can I share this, please, with somebody? So this is very important, to have a network of professionals worldwide. And now it's very interesting, especially the last 1, 2, 3 years, very seldom we need to ask Master Liu directly. When I started in 2011, 12, 13, 14, I often asked Master Liu, and also actually when we had the first programs, Master Liu really was, obviously is still always available. But now we have a lot of wisdom in our community. So most of the times we can cover specific questions already within our community of educated, certified Hunan Chi therapists, which is quite profound. And then when we have special cases, obviously we ask Master Liu, or normally I am the one asking Master Liu and then spreading the news again into our community so that everybody can benefit. And that's quite profound, because to say that we have now a professional network of people around the world who bring the skills, abilities of the Medicine-less Hospital into the world, we can really say it's true. And it's increasing year by year. It's very rewarding, actually, to be part of this program and community and initiative.
We have a way you can discover Qigong. So at the Qineng Qigong Students Hub, we know that understanding Qigong is very important. And also that Qineng Qigong in itself has various nuances that people can't easily comprehend. So we've approached it in the style of a video game. On this page, Discover Qigong, you can select your character. So you can either be a beginner, a practitioner, or a holistic healer or self-healer. And you click on your character and it takes you to these different sections. In these sections, you can explore the nuances. And when you click on a card, all of the resources pop up, and we've made it really fun, and not many people know about it. So if you are interested, have a look and discover Qigong.
All right, that's all very interesting, Britta, but I'd also like to know, as concrete as possible now, what does it include for the teacher that was at the Medicine-less Hospital? How did they have to be? What did they do? What were the technical skills required? Maybe you can tell our listeners a little bit more about that.
Yes, that's a great question. So I remember that Master Leo was sharing with us once that at least once a month, the teachers and healers came together to actually also exchange, their knowledge and skills and share in a very open heart and mind way, what has worked and what didn't work. And so let's say lessons learned. And out of these discussions, Master Leo has actually developed what he calls the 5 technical skills to give a treatment, but also to receive a treatment, like for the healing process. And maybe that is interesting indeed for the listeners to learn about, because you can
Absolutely.
even work with it without coming to the Hunanchi therapy program. But obviously, in the Hunanchi therapy program, you will go very deep in learning it, applying it, and be very confident about them. So the first skill is that you open your heart and mind that next to the natural principles of life and life evolving principles, there are also consciousness principles, and that human beings have the ability to strengthen their conscious abilities and enhance their conscious abilities to give a treatment, but also to receive a treatment based on Hunanchi therapy, so that you are in a position to change the disease information and the state of the disease having the impact on your physical body into, let's say, a consciousness, a healthy abilities and function of your body. So that we are really working based on the 3 level of substances, which Dr. Pang Ming has created a whole philosophy upon, including the information substance level, the energy substance level, and the physical matter substance level. We understand the combination and how it's all related, and how we can use our consciousness to transform then an illness state into a healthy state. So that's the first thing.
Let me see whether I understood that. So what you are saying here is we have I think you said something like the way things evolve anyway. So say I'm a tree and I'm standing there as a tree and I get disease because I've got some parasites or something on my leaves. And then the way things are, the tree will try to heal itself, but without any conscious direction. It's just what the tree does. If I get infected as a tree, I try to heal myself. But this is not a conscious decision for the tree. It is just, what the tree does. Now, what you're saying is that as human beings, because we have a conscious consciousness, we can actually use that to interfere in a way and to say, okay, wait a tick, I can see now, for example, I have this problem with my skin or whatever, and I can use my consciousness to redirect the information, and out of the information, my skin has a problem. I use my consciousness to give the information my skin is healthy, which is obviously supporting, all of my being to get to the healthy state. Is that what you're saying? I'm just trying to put in everyday language here, or did I miss something?
Okay, no, it's brilliant. And actually, I would like to build on what you've shared to give you a very concrete example. So everybody has the experience to maybe cut the finger, right? By accident, something happens and we have a small wound in our finger. So we put a plaster around, and in a natural way, the skin has the ability to grow together, and we don't even pay attention. And 2-3 hours later, we take the plaster out again or pull it away, and we see, oh, beautiful, the skin is, almost like normal. Maybe just we see a little scratch, but it's almost like normal. So now imagine, and I share now a real experience I had with one of our Hunanchi therapy participants a few years ago. We were together in a training, and she did a hike, and she came back with a wound in her leg, in her calf area leg, so above the heel, above the foot actually. And we had a full training day, and she was then, and after the training day, we were sitting together, we were sharing, actually a glass of beer even. And then she said, oh, I had this hike, but I hurt myself, and look at my wound. And we both looked at each other and said, okay, let's give a Qi treatment. That's now a perfect opportunity to practice and just do it. So we would then, give a Qi treatment. We would agree to do that now in that moment, put our beer aside, close our eyes, and then follow the steps Master Yonton Liu has taught us in the program. So first we would close our eyes, we would organize the chi field, we would really connect what we say heart to heart, mind to mind, our consciousness together, really building one field and expanding into the space, then collecting, gathering chi, and then scanning, and then do Fa Chi. So we would send holistic health information into that area, but we are not, that's another skill, we are not connecting with the wound now, with the illness itself or the issue. We would connect with the skin is healthy and our mind is trained that we go inside. That's another skill. We are not like on the surface on the skin, we go into the skin, into the area, and together we collected, gathered chi and did Fa Chi for a while, and repeated the process. That's another skill. Master Yonton Liu has shared with us that we repeat sending abundant, good, upright, healthy information again and again and again in circle until it's done, until we feel there's a shift, there's a transformation. Actually, we can sense that actually. And both of us sensed it after a few minutes, 10 minutes of giving a treatment to her leg, and we opened our eyes and we were literally shocked. Like the yellow part, it was like, I don't know the English word, when the wound is starting to have fluid, you know, this getting maybe an infection, completely gone. So it was dry, her skin was dry, and it shrinked. So it was not completely gone, but it shrinked, the area of the wound shrinked, it was smaller, the fluid was like disappeared, and we could clearly see it's done. I mean, the rest she could do by herself, and so it was the next morning already better and better until completely healed. So sometimes to me it's still, I mean, I have a complete different background. You know, I came to Chin Qigong, let's say by coincidence. Obviously, looking back, it was not a coincidence. I had a powerful intention to prevent myself from illness, and a colleague recommended me to try Chin Qigong. It's still to me magic, which should not be magic, because it is actually something each human being has the potential, the abilities. Each normal person can learn this and apply it. Children have much faster access to this idea because we've done children workshops and they are very fast in applying it successfully. Adults, what we need to do is we need to actually let go of frames of information we've collected. And I come to another very important technical skill, which is transforming the traditional knowledge, or let's say separate our consciousness from the traditional knowledge. Like Western medicine says, Parkinson cannot be healed, MS cannot be healed, ALS cannot be healed, certain eye disease like macular degeneration cannot be healed. Okay, so what do you do now if you get this diagnosis from your doctor and he says, sorry, I diagnosed you with Parkinson. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Right? Because they don't have medicine to heal it. They can only slow it down. But now there's a Chin Qigong system who says, yes, there's hope, because yes, there is potential to heal. There's not a promise that you can heal yourself, because that again is a bit more comprehensive and can be also complex, because like these ideas, you know, we invite you now to overcome the Western medicine knowledge that it cannot be healed. And now we offer some practices and say, yeah, you can open your heart and mind, change your mindset, only nourish positive, upright, healthy thoughts, learn how to apply your consciousness, apply Qi therapy for yourself, learn the methods so you have practices each day, like with diagnosis like Parkinson or MS or any kind of chronic disease. The Chin Qigong masters actually say, please practice 3 to 4 hours a day. That alone, you know, I've met many people who say, I can't, I have a busy lifestyle, sorry. And I go like, then, okay, then maybe Chin Qigong is not for you. Please, you know, look further and find another way. But for this kind of condition, we have enough examples now also in the West, where I actually point people to and say, speak to this woman or man who has overcome these symptoms, by dedicated practice. Some only practice 2 hours a day for a year, other practice 3 or 4 hours a day for a year. But the result is, with applying all these different ideas we have put together in a book now too, so people can read the book and, you know, apply these ideas. But the willingness to apply, that's also one technical skill that you need to really believe and trust in your own healing intention. That's really very important, that you go beyond what maybe other people say. You know, a doctor can actually say one strong sentence which literally kills you because you believe the doctor, because the doctor said, sorry, you know, we cannot cure yourself. And very seldom, I also witnessed that once, where a doctor said, sorry, we cannot help you, but find a Qigong master. That was really, really gives me still goosebumps when that person then sat in our workshop and started to heal from a very sincere diagnosis of cancer. So, and then maybe one other idea is people can consider that the consciousness doesn't pay attention to the process, but really focuses on the end result. And that is also something which we in the West, we need to really, how do you say that, unlearn certain things in our mind, because we are trained in processes. We are trained, you know, in action and in step by step. But here we say, you know, become clear about your healing intention and trust and believe that it is manifesting in that specific moment, based on your practice, based on opening your heart and mind, based on applying all these skills. It will happen. It's already happening. It's already the result of your intention. Like we could say, the intention equals the result. That's quite a new concept for many, many people. But that's also like why I'm never bored with Qi and Qigong, and I practice in Hunan Qi therapy. I practice since 2005. We brought the Hunan Qi therapy program into the world in 2015, starting with the first generation. And I still feel I can learn so much, because it's really inspiring each day, again and again, to go deeper with this material. So it's never boring, actually.
Sure. It's all very fascinating, Britta. I'm very grateful to have you here so that you explain all these things. And with the last point in particular, I'm reminded that when people came to the Huaxia Center and were welcomed by the teachers and Dr. Pang, the message was always, you are already healthy. So they were always focusing on the health result. They did not see a sick person coming. They saw a healthy person coming. Right? And this is what you meant by don't focus on the process, focus on the end result. Because our body is so powerful, the Qi is so powerful, they know, the Qi and the body knows what to do. We just have to give them the direction to the end result so that it can act upon it. And so that's great that you share all these techniques, because that is what was happening at the Huaxia Center, at the Medicineless Hospital. This is how the teachers would work with the patients. And you just mentioned that you have just finished the book, and I know about that. I think it was only published like 6 weeks ago, so it's very fresh. Here we go. For those who have a camera, they can see it. What is it called? Ancient
Chinese Qi medicine, the secrets to holistic health, well-being, and modern life. Yes.
You have written this book together with Master Leo, or basically the input comes from him, because he was at the Huaxia Center for many, many years. Do you know how many years he's been there?
Yes, he was actually working there for 10 years. So he did the 2 years rigorous training directly with Dr. Pang Ming, and then worked there for 8 years with thousands of patients, we could say. And to build on, I would just like to share one thing, because when you said, they welcomed all the people already with Haola. So I remember Master Leo once sharing that, they would write down the details of the person arriving. And whenever the person shared something in their mind, Haola, Haola. Now, Master Leo also shared that with us. Like when we are receiving an email of a person requesting support in their health and well-being journey, already receiving that email, we say Haola. When we have the phone call or a Zoom call, we have a Haola mindset, a Hunyaling Tong mindset. And this is really something people can experience. I had a 30 minutes consultation call the other day, and the person next day was confronted with quite a challenge and could share with me that based on the consultation and the small practice I shared, she was better off, So it's like really applying simple things, when you meet a person, be in the haola state. When you go on a traveling and you meet some people you don't even know, you can always be in the haola state. That's already quite high level practice and good benefits for everybody involved.
I do want to come back to the book though, because in Jineng Qigong, a lot of the literature is not so easy approachable for us in the West. It's quite complex and it's been written in a difficult language. Now, what Master Leo has done here by cooperating with you, he said, okay, we share the knowledge. He obviously shares the experience because he has been at the Medicineless Hospital for so many years, but we make it in a way that is easy for people to understand. So he's taken the essence of these 10 years and what he's learned there about Hunyuan therapy, and you guys have brought it together in the book. And I've read some of the reviews. It's really an incredible book, and I can only encourage people that have an interest, to look into it and see whether this could be something for you to learn the basics here. Actually, it's not just I mean, it's more than the basics because this book has many, many pages. So I think it's quite comprehensive. So for anybody who's got an interest, go out and see what you can learn here.
Yeah, it has 300 pages, and you're completely right. We structured it in a way that it represents also the Hunan Chi therapy program and all this knowledge Master Liu has, but also practical ideas. So we have combined, let's say, the theories in a very accessible way so people can really understand it, and then put methods, practices, insights, meditations, poems, so to make it a little bit more digestible. And the feedback we've been receiving is actually really encouraging and motivating, because people, write to us that, they have all the theory books at home too, but with this book, they find it more, and they can better understand. So very happy that people can benefit from it.
So have we missed any? I mean, obviously, if you're offering a 2-year program, there's a lot to talk about, but we don't have 2 years here. We've got a limited time. Is there anything you would like our listeners to add to our listeners when we think about Hunyuan Chi therapy? Anything that you feel like, we shouldn't forget to address this point?
Yes, I think an important aspect of Hunyuan Chi therapy is, and also Jineng Qigong science, is actually to have tools and methods to more open the heart and mind for new information, for new beginnings, for new possibilities, for new potential. Because if you're in a situation that you maybe have experienced a trauma, or you have now a diagnosis by the doctor, very often, the heart is shrinking and you are in fear, you are in worries, you don't really know what to do next and where to find support, if you're even open for support. And Hunyuan Chi therapy and Jineng Qigong science helps you to open the heart and mind, to be open for support and be open for the potential and possibility. Life is never promising anything, but my understanding of how I now came to Jineng Qigong, and I've studied and practiced it now for so many years, that life indeed gives us new potential and opportunities and new beginnings, even in very hopeless situations. There can always be hope. And I would say that maybe as a closing word, that getting the book can be a first step, that you read page by page and you find suddenly, your heart is opening up, and you go like, I didn't think about that. Oh, maybe I should go out and find somebody who can help me practice something, that I take my health in my own hands again, that I regain control. Or I find a coach. It can be a Hunyuan Chi therapist, yes, but maybe it can also be a coach who helps me to, let's say, open my mind and find new lifestyle decisions which are supportive in my life and not depleting my life. So let's say, find the support of experts. You do not need to do this alone. I think I have had the blessing of so many mentors, coaches, trainers who helped me to grow and evolve and progress in many ways. And that is, I think, the blessing in life, to know you're not alone on this journey. And if you feel alone, then it's time to open up your heart and reach out to people who have maybe certain skills, and they are happily sharing them with you. So why not be more curious be more curious to investigate, what else life has to offer.
I know there were what kind of closing words, but I would like to add something here because you used some beautiful words, and that was open to the possibility. And I want to use these words because, and then go back a little in our conversation when you said, yeah, that people would arrive at the Huaxia Center, diagnosed terminal illnesses, for example, and then they are welcomed by people that say you're already healthy. Now, a lot of people with a rational mind would say, what are they talking about? I've got this diagnosis here, I can hardly move. So and for those people that cannot simply just switch completely, I think this creates an opening here. If they say, okay, maybe this is what I feel now, maybe this is what I've been told by the doctor, but I'm open for the possibility that there is healing. And because that is something else than saying I'm already healthy. But I think it's a starting point for many people to say I'm open to this possibility and I'm going to embrace it fully. Because as you said earlier, also there are no promises because any disease is a complex thing, and there might be a trauma history or nutrition or some poison in our environment that's all contributing to everything. So there are so many factors. So there are no promises, but there is the possibility, and to be open to that already is a good step towards total health. Now, if I spoke nonsense, please correct me. Otherwise, I have the closing word today.
That's okay. No, that's perfectly fine. No, that's really a great way to inspire. Maybe that's also like with these kind of podcasts, we would like to inspire people to find new ways. And yeah, that's very good.
Cool.
Thank you.
So all links will obviously be in the show notes. So there is the Life Changer program on the Hundianqi therapy fundamentals starting in the next few days. So check that out. We've got the link to the book and obviously also to the Hundianqi therapy program if anybody's interested and would like to follow up there. Now, thank you very much, Britta. It was a pleasure to have you on the show again. And yeah, I hope you'll have a fantastic evening and I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Thorsten. Thank you to all the listeners. Paula?
We trust you enjoyed this conversation, and we invite you to subscribe to our podcast so we can stay in touch and notify you of future episodes. We will end today's episode with the 8 verses meditation performed by Jin and Qigong teacher Katrin Hendricks. Enjoy. To get your free ebook on the 8 verses meditation, please check the show notes below.